Okay, I'm going to start mic check. This is microphone number 1, check 1, 2, 3. This is mic 1. Microphone 1. Microphone number 2, check 1, 2. Microphone number 2. Microphone 3, super mic, mic number 3, super mic. President mic number 4, president mic number 4. Microphone number 5, mic number 5. Microphone 6, microphone number 6. And lastly, the podium mic, which we need a podium. Microphone number, podium mic 1, 2, 3. Rechecking the podium mic, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1, 2, check.
Okay, we're unmuted. We're live. You ready, my shot?
He doesn't seem to care.
Things happen, it does. Hi, Mark.
Hello there. Mary, I forgot to say congratulations on that reward you got.
Thank you.
In a moment, Cheryl. Nope, Cheryl.
We're live, just so you know, unmuted.
I'm gonna leave my stuff back.
Live and unmuted. Thank you.
I assume it would be my third kids combined with some
Kelsey's coming in to work with me June 11th.
We found in the chat and they can't sound so
Happy vacation. How much you want?
All right, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 7:37. If everyone can stand for the pledge.
Oh, we can see the flag right here, straight ahead. Oh,
here.
Good job, Straight up.
Ready? Just a few things before we begin. If you have a cell phone, please you need to silence it for the meeting. And in case of an emergency, we do have two emergency exits. There's one located right behind me, and of course, through the exit we walked to Mr. Go ahead and do a roll call. I'll start with Ashley Gray, our president. She is excused first. We have Roger Broker on my far left, trustee, Jay Grover, trustee, Sherry Stephens, trustee, Julie Kuhn, district clerk, Dr. Brian Graham, superintendent of schools, I'm Sue Marston, board trustee, Joy Lamarca, trustee, Danielle Bruno, trustee, John Fitzpatrick, assistant superintendent of curriculum, staff development, and human resource, Cheryl Cardone, assistant superintendent of pupil personnel services, and Robert Merkel, our assistant superintendent for school business and finance. Okay, so if I can get an approval for our agenda this evening, I need a motion
Make a motion.
and a second. All approved? Opposed? Motion carried 6-0. And if I can get an approval for the minutes for our May 6th meeting, please.
I'll motion.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 6-0. And on to our student ambassadors in the middle school. If we could get into, oh, we'll go right on to our high school. If we need an introduction.
I am thrilled to introduce you a senior here at Grand Island High School, Cora Pankow. Cora is going to be going to Fredonia State next year to study psychology. She's an active member of Donate Life and one of the very few students at our PTSA. She gets her acts of service, I think, from her mom quite a bit. She is a wonderful, wonderful young lady, and I'm so excited to have her present today.
Good evening, my name is Cora Pankow, and I'm honored to have been selected as tonight's board ambassador for Grand Island High School this month. I'd like to highlight some of the great things that have been going on at our school lately. Starting off the past month, we have had AP students working incredibly hard to excel on their annual advanced placement exams and assessments. Personally, I completed 3 of these exams in May, and with the help of our great experienced teachers, we are done looking forward to a great end to a great school year. This past weekend, seniors enjoyed their prom at the Foundry, followed by a fantastic and fun-filled night at post-prom held at the high school. There was karaoke, bounce houses, amazing prizes like iPads and TVs, and even a hypnotist. It was truly such an exciting and tiring night, but thanks to parents and staff that helped in putting this event together, it could not have been a better outcome. Continuing with the seniors, our class day is coming up on June 9th. We will be enjoying a breakfast provided by the juniors, followed by our annual senior presentation, and after that, we'll be doing the parade of graduates held at our respective schools. It will be a perfect end cap to our years at Grand Island. Speaking of the end of the school year, which is coming up fast, being that the last day of classes for our high school is Friday, June 13th, Regents exams will be held in June. Our students have been working incredibly hard throughout the year, and our teachers' hard work has not gone unnoticed. The art department is very proud to announce that Jojo Montiel has won first place in the National VFW Creative Patriotic Art Competition. Jojo will attend VFW award ceremonies at the local, state, and national levels, where she will receive college scholarships totaling over $15,000 for her patriotic artwork. Nice job, Jojo. And with that, I hope that everyone has a great end of the school year and an even greater summer. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Correspondence and review.
Yeah, we have some wonderful things to celebrate today. I'm wondering if we have Chase Mondo and Colin here today. If you guys could come up to the podium. Mr. Kuhn, can you help us out with a little introduction of these fine young men? This is really exciting. Mr. Kuhn, I do have a video there. When you're ready, we can show that as well.
Sure. So Colin and Chase both competed at Tech Wars at ECC a few weeks ago. And we took about 20 students with us to compete against several other schools. And we do this with our after-school club that Mr. Sweet holds every Tuesday. And some of the students work in class on projects as well as outside of the class as well in that club. So Chase prepared a video to highlight the tech program in the high school.
Yeah, Chase, can you just set us up on the amount of work that you had to apply? I know that your teachers in the tech department are absolutely thrilled that you did this. And I know that you take some tech courses here, but you also go to BOCES. So just give us a little color to this project.
Yeah, so I go to BOCES for video production and recording arts, and then the teachers here, Mr. Cahoon and Mr. Sweet, they knew that and they asked me if I could put together a promotional video for them, which I did. And it was a lot of work just to research like all the little things about this stuff, about the different classes and stuff, and then put it in to the video, which I did like a little cool like effect where I wrote each thing in real life, and then I scanned it onto the computer to make it look like a paper effect, kind of like, I don't know, just to make it look cool. But
And I'll play this. Chase, what technological tool did you use at BOCES to put this all together? Do you remember the name of the program you
the
used?
program, yeah, I use Premiere Pro to edit this. Yeah.
Very good. All right, here we go.
At Grand Island High School, technology education is more than just a class. It's a pathway to your future. Are you ready to build, design, and discover?
Some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. But I don't let it get me down. Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around.
All right, nice job.
I'm a junior right now.
Excellent, excellent. So we have you for another year. I know the tech department is thrilled. We'll be able to use this to market to our middle school kids as they consider coming up for the different pathways. So that's great. Eric, any other final comments on that work?
It's a short little video, but it took obviously hours to come up with the plan for what we wanted to capture the video itself and obviously to edit and speed up. One thing to mention, although Chase didn't place at ECC Tech Wars, he has placed third and second at NCCC, or SUNY Niagara Tech Wars, the past 2 years.
All right, congratulations. For Chase, Callan, and JoJo, when we're done with this portion, we'll ask you to come up and get a group picture with our Board of Education. Congratulations, Chase. Mr. Cahoon, if you could introduce Callan.
Yeah, so Colin's up there on the screen. So he placed in the CAD drop-off. So work that he had done in his CAD class with Mr. Cotman, and he will show you what he did.
So I brought this project to ECC Tech Wars. I'll just show real quick. I had to design a game that I was given at Tech Wars. Ahead of time, I had to design it, make drawings of it, and print it out, bring it to Tech Wars, drop it off, wait for it to be graded. I placed third overall. We did this over, like, I'd say 2 or 3 weeks. Took a lot of work, like 40 minutes a day, hard work. 3 pages, each one, lots of detail. Had to do, like, each page. I had so many, like, errors within my drawings. I had to problem solve, had to think of alternate solutions of what to do. Yeah, so I can kind of like show different pages if you want.
Show the crowd your drawings.
Wow.
So then within it, each piece had to be separately drawn and dimensioned in it. So the final product on the cover looks like just a picture, but everything had to be drawn in the computer, the exact sizes, measuring, dial calipers, rulers, precision, problem solving, making sure it fit, and it was a true replica of the actual game itself that modeled off of. So again, it looks easy, but lots and lots of hours spent.
Mr. Cahoon, could you just bring that to the table, pass it around so everybody gets a chance to look? Callan, what grade are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore. Will you stay in this path and take some more courses?
Yeah, I plan to take as much tech courses as I can. Probably next year I'm gonna try to get into robotics and manufacturing systems.
Excellent, that's great. Mr. Cahoon, could you just add a little color to Tech Wars? I was so impressed, but maybe just share with the board and the community approximately how many participants from all different schools around Western New York, right?
So there's 2 different Tech Wars. There's Tech Wars in Niagara County at SUNY Niagara, and then there's Tech Wars in Erie County at ECC, or SUNY Erie. Both of them are attended by several high schools around our area. The SUNY Niagara one is in January. Like 20 plus school districts go to it. Each school district brings as many students that sign up for the different events. There's probably 20 plus events at each competition, both middle school and high school. And again, we do it in like our after school club. The students that are interested in it, and as you heard from these guys here, that they are involved in it, they love it. Chase does it on the side, Colin's into it. They try to take all the classes, as many as they can within our department. The kids have fun, as you can see from some of the pictures that were posted. So it truly is a great event to highlight the work that students do within tech programs, not only in our own district, but in other districts around the area. So we participated in Tech Wars in the past, kind of took a little bit of break, and now we're getting back into competing in Tech Wars again with our students.
Yeah, that's great. I'll show the board some other pictures of some of your other students, but to understand the amount of participation from across Western New York was remarkable. It was a good refresher for me going into SUNY Erie and seeing hundreds upon hundreds.
Of kids there with their robots and bins and boxes. boxes and toolkits and very organized chaos within each event. There's people that run the events are other tech teachers themselves that volunteer their time to not only bring their own students, but also then judge the events and organize it and put it together and make sure that all the students are participating in a way that truly brings out their best skills, as well as behavior and things like that, sportsmanship between the teams, helping out, especially in the robot competitions where if a wheel falls off, you lend some tools to help the team get their bot up and running, and things like that. So our students do it.
It's really great. Colin, any last words about your process and journey?
No, not really.
Anybody from the board, any questions? Let's give these guys a round of applause and hang tight. Beside the seat, I'd like to invite JoJo. And come on up, JoJo. And Cindy, this is great. Cindy, can you do a little intro for us?
Hi, I'm Cindy Nguyen. I'm one of the art teachers in the high school here, and I'd like to introduce JoJo Mandu. She's an awesome kid, and every year I give an assignment to my students to take part in the, I'm going to get it wrong because it's a really long title, the Young American Creative Patriotic Art Competition, or the word switched around in some manner. It's a great competition because it forces the kids to think about what it means to feel patriotic. And it is required in my APR class, and they have to somehow incorporate it into their APR portfolio, which is themed. And the reason why I like that is because a lot of kids don't stop and think about what patriotism means personally to them, and this kind of forces that, that issue. And JoJo really took it to heart, and her entry was very different from a lot of what the other kids did. We had a couple winners at the local level, which on June 8th will be going to the VFW post here, the Charles Clapper post on Grand Island, and they'll be getting their awards and a little prize money. And then JoJo has been invited to go to Albany, where she also won first place, competing with other VFW post entries from across the state. And then, and this is the first time this has happened for us at Grand Island High School, JoJo won national, which means she competed with students from all over the country, and you could see her scratch art. She did that by literally removing the black to reveal the white. And I'm very proud of her, and I'm going to let her talk more.
Hi, my name is JoJo. I just wanted to say thank you to Mrs. Nguyen, because without her I wouldn't have never known about this competition. Being introduced to it, I never looked or thought about anything about how I can add patriotism to my portfolio. My portfolio is based off of animals and how they tie into relationships with family members or important people in life. And so when we were introduced to this project, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I've never thought this direction. And so I was talking with other classmates, and one of them were like, there are service dogs who help veterans. I was like, that's such a good idea. And so I did research, and I got to learn a lot about what they do for a lot of veterans who struggle from PTSD and disabilities. And so I got to learn a lot about that, which was really cool. And then the whole process of actually doing it, I got to play around with background, because at the time I was new to scratch art again. And so I was able to learn how to fit a background, which really made the piece. And I was so shocked that it did so well placement-wise. I would have never thought that I would win first nationally, and I'm really grateful.
Truly remarkable. Congratulations. I've known you for many years. I congratulations to all of our teachers, Cindy Wynn, and everybody that's influenced you. Where does this talent come from? Is this something that's embedded in your family? Is there any other artists that that you share some artwork with at home?
No, I just, growing up, I just kind of loved art. I would always be in my basement. I'd be painting. I started scratch art for the very first time in 8th grade with Mrs. Guyek, and I ended up doing this box, and I was like, wow, like this is really cool. But I never actually touched scratchboard since 8th grade until this year. And last year when I was talking to Mrs. Wynn about APR, I was like, I don't know what I would do because I like drawing, I like painting, but then I did this like several years ago and I was really good at it, so what if I tried this for my portfolio? And I started doing it and it ended up really well, so I'm really happy with my choice of APR.
You have so many talents. I know that you're moving on from us, and some of those talents might be exhibited in your next steps after high school. Can you just share what's happening with you?
Yes. So I committed to play Division I soccer at Kent State University, and yeah, so I'm going to be a student athlete, and I'm really excited. I committed my sophomore year early in the fall, and since then I've been working on, I also tore my ACL though, which 5 days after my commitment, which wasn't ideal at all.
But it's still great.
Yeah.
You're just down the road, your parents know about traveling. What do you want to study?
I want to study nursing,
Nice.
and I know a lot of people are like, wow, like why don't you go for art?
Yeah. Oh, you never know. This is going to be a part of your life forever. You know, it's a wonderful skill. And maybe we'll see some artwork in the future, and who knows, maybe in many ways, right? Cindy does an amazing job in our community, so when you're home in the summer, maybe you guys can connect and you can inspire and influence some other peers. That'd be great. Any questions from the board? Okay, let's give her another round of applause. We're going to take a brief picture with our students, their principals, and our board, so please come on up.
Here we go. I'll take a couple and then Alice will take some. Get ready. 3, 2, 1. Thank you very much, Jack.
Comment session, nobody signed up, so we'll move on to curriculum and instruction.
Yes, just briefly, to the Board of Education, we have our curriculum, instruction, and professional development review for the month of May. I just want to highlight the middle school held their annual Emerging Leaders Conference for the 8th grade class on Friday, May 16th. It was a very successful event. I want to thank Leanne Winstanley. I want to thank Mary Gant, Sarah Coburn, for all the work that they put into that conference. The kids looked wonderful, professionally dressed, and we were very thankful that Lisa Flaherty, who is a parent in our school district, but also a content distribution manager or executive for Disney and ESPN. She gave the keynote address that morning. So we thank them for all their hard work and thank Mrs. Flaherty for participate in that. And of course, our career ambassadors who made the day. Thank you.
And that always seems to line up with the PTSA awards, right? So, unfortunately, I've always attended that in the past 4 years, but, that will all change next year, so I'm really looking forward to being able to attend that event. It's always wonderful, so great job with that.
Thank you.
All right, anybody have any questions or comments? All right, on to personnel and instruction. If I can get a motion to, approve P&I 1 through P&I 6, please? And a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 6-0.
We'll go to the next one.
Oh, okay. Do non-instructional? Yes. Okay. All right, for non-instructional, can I get a motion, please, to approve P&I 1 through P&I 3, please? And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried 6-0.
All right. Mr. Spinelli, could you stand for a moment? We're really excited to welcome you on board as an assistant principal in our middle school tonight. The board has accepted that recommendation. We're thrilled to have you. I see you've brought your family with you, but for our people in the audience and people watching today, Mr. Spinelli has 16 years as a special education teacher with the Falk School organization. I can tell you that I was a special education teacher for 16 years before moving on to administration. It is fantastic work. Is your wife also a special education teacher? It's amazing, right? Wonderful spirits coming together. It's hard work, and I'm sure you've learned a tremendous amount in helping some of the most challenging individuals in our community. Beyond that, he's coming to us from Pioneer Middle School, and we are absolutely thrilled to welcome you to our team. Richard, if you could just maybe introduce us to your family. I see a few Seneca shirts in the audience.
My wife Andrea, and my son Jordan, and daughter Scarlett. They both come from soccer, baseball. It's kind of doing a runaround today, but luckily they made it here. Happy to have them here with them.
Congratulations. You coached West Seneca Travel, and that emblem is still strong. That's awesome. And you were you playing baseball today?
Yeah.
That's amazing. For what team? I know West Seneca West, but
Not modified.
oh, it's modified still going.
Yeah.
Great, how'd it go?
I left. We were up by a lot.
All right.
That's a good sign.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, thank you. For our administrators, do we have any additional introductions?
Next.
Good evening, members of the Board of Education. Can I have Samantha Bertrand please stand? It is my pleasure to introduce an outstanding new addition to our team of school psychologists. Samantha Bertrand is a recent graduate of Niagara University, where she earned a Master of Science and a Certificate of Advanced Study in School Psychology. With 5 years of experience supporting students with disabilities, Ms. Bertrand brings a strong background in designing individualized supports that address each student's unique strengths and challenges. In addition to her educational background, Ms. Bertrand has gained valuable experience working in a variety of local agencies and public school settings. She holds specialized training in crisis prevention, giving her a comprehensive understanding of the diverse needs of students, families, and the greater community. During her year-long internship at Kenmore Town of Tonawanda School District, Ms. Bertrand provided counseling services to students in grades K through 4, supported the implementation of PBIS and the MTSS frameworks, collaborated closely with school-based teams, and conducted a wide range of student assessments. We are very excited to welcome Ms. Bertrand to the Grand Island Central School District. We look forward to working with her and the positive impact she will have on our students and school community as she continues to grow in her professional journey. Congratulations.
Did you bring anybody with you tonight?
I did, my fiance Nick.
Can you just join? Yeah, thank you, Nick, for being here. Thank you so much. Any other introductions tonight? Yes, thank you.
Good evening, Board of Education members, Dr. Graham, and District Administrators. Allison Belalta, could you please stand so we can recognize you? Tonight, I would like to introduce you to Mrs. Allison Belalta, who will be joining us at the high school in September as our new music teacher. Ms. Belalta has a Bachelor of Arts in Music Education from SUNY Potsdam Crane School of Music and a master's degree in music education from Michigan State University. Mrs. Belalta was most recently employed as a music teacher in the Williamsville Central School District, teaching middle school chorus and general music. During the interview process, Mrs. Belalta's passion for teaching vocal music was clearly evident, as was her desire to inspire students to develop a love for music and strengthen their vocal abilities. One of her colleagues shared with us, Allison is an exceptional teacher whose energy and enthusiasm for music are truly contagious. Her classroom is a vibrant environment where students feel inspired and engaged. We are excited to welcome Ms. Belalta to GIHS, and we're looking forward to having her join our music department in September. Welcome, Allison.
Congratulations. Did you bring anybody to that?
No, my husband has fallen into the lawn care.
Oh.
Great.
Okay. All right, David.
Good evening, Dr. Graham, Board of Education and District Administrators. I'd like to introduce you to Megan McMurray. Megan was just approved to be our newest third grade teacher at Kegabine. She will be replacing Lynn Ackendorf, who we just recognized earlier tonight for her retirement. As you may recognize Miss McMurray, as she was hired as a teaching assistant just this past fall at Huth Road, and has been serving as a long-term substitute teacher over at Sidway. I had the honor of meeting Megan McMurray over the summer, as she has been a summer school classroom teacher aide for the past several years. Her experiences within the district and her professionalism throughout the interview process show that she will be an amazing asset to Kegabine. So we're very excited to have her. So congratulations.
Did you bring anybody with you tonight?
I didn't know it was a family affair.
All right, thank you for being here.
And we have a lot of new faces that are going to be joining Kegabine next year. So Ms. Anna Ugero, stand on up. So Anna is currently a 5th grade teacher at Tonawanda, but she has clear ties to Grand Island. Ms. Ugero is a Grand Island graduate and has served as various roles within our district, from student teacher, teacher aide, teaching assistant, and long-term substitute. Ms. Ugero has a background in special education and literacy, which will benefit her as a classroom teacher. We are very excited to have Ms. Ugero join her mother at Kegabine as a 5th grade teacher next year. So, congratulations and welcome to the Kegabine family.
Do you have anybody to introduce them?
I have my mother, and then my father is also.
And could you guys stand for a moment, both of you? Can you do a little bit more intro for your mom in particular? You just won an amazing award.
Yes, my mother is an aide at Kegabine, and she has inspired me, and she's just amazing, and I'm very grateful.
And Mary just won the West New York Education Service Council Award for Excellence, which is a regional award, so congratulations, Mary. Just scanning the crowd. Any other intros tonight, whether it's for non-instructional or instructional? All right, thank you so much.
Okay, just before we move on, I just really, we just had our retirement 10-year reception. And I just wanted to congratulate all of our retirees and also congratulate Hillary, who is here tonight on her 10-year appointment, I guess, and everybody else who received theirs who did not care to join us at this thrilling evening tonight. Hillary, congratulations. On to finance.
Thank you. So I'm looking for approval of items A through E. Item A is an obsolete bus. Item B is a donation from the Black Claw Giving Fund. Item C is budget transfers over $15,000. Item D is a capital outlay project for next year. We'll be doing some work on the middle school floors. And then the final item is UPK contracts for next year. I worked with Mr. Fitzpatrick on that, and Deb Gordon has made all the phone calls, and proud to report that we had 129 slots. All 129 slots are filled at this time, and we got all the way through the lottery, so everybody that was in the lottery did get a slot. So proud to report that. So looking for approval on items A through E, and F and G are information.
Okay, if I can get a motion for A through, did you say G, I'm sorry.
A through E.
A through E, please.
A motion.
And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried 6-0. Any questions for Bob? And now that the room has cleared, I would like to congratulate Senior Winger on his retirement, because now I see him.
Thank you very much.
I know my son has enjoyed being in the classroom for the last 2 years, and as I have stated many times, we've had many conversations about your classes at our dinner table, and have enjoyed them for the last 2 years. So congratulations and good luck, and enjoy your retirement.
It's been wonderful, thank you.
All right, moving on to, all right, special education, sorry.
Short and sweet, we are on the very last CPSC and CSD meetings as we speak, so if I could have those program recommendations, if I could have action on them, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
If I can get a motion on A and B, please, for Gerald.
I'll motion.
And a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried 6-0. On to policy.
I'd like to ask John Fitzpatrick, we have a first read for one policy, and we're looking for action with a different policy.
Yes, we'll start with the workplace violence prevention policy. It's just a revision from last year. I had to remove Mike Gloria's name and add my name to the policy, specifically on page 3. If you're, yeah, it's just for action.
Okay.
So we have a motion for that?
Yes, can I get a motion? And a second? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried 6-0.
Okay. Thank you. Next, we have a first read on the personal electronic device policy, which goes into effect August 1st. This aligns with New York State Education Law 2803 to establish a district-wide policy limiting student use of personal internet-enabled devices during the instructional day to support learning and reduce distractions. This law was passed by the legislature on May 9th, 2025. I'm just going to summarize the policy. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them. What's prohibited is the use of internet-enabled devices such as smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, anything that is able to be connected to the internet during the school day only, on school grounds except under specific approved exceptions, and these exceptions include educational purposes, so if it's deemed necessary by any staff member, that would certainly be allowed. Any healthcare needs for a student would certainly be allowed. In emergency situations that are deemed an emergency by administration, if you, an exception would also be for translating support, caregiving responsibilities, and as required by a student's IEP or 504 plan, those would all be exceptions. On May 22nd, we met as a group of administrators, staff, students, parent representatives. We had representatives of every bargaining unit to take a look at the draft policy, to offer input, suggestions, and thoughts on the policy itself. And so we took that all into account and edited our draft a little bit. The draft itself is actually modeled after the New York State School Boards Association draft policy, which was put out just a couple days ago. The storage requirements in the policy specifically is for the elementary buildings, devices are discouraged, and if they're brought to school, they must be silenced and stored in a student's cubby or locker. And in the middle school and high school, devices are obviously to be silenced and stored in lockers for the entire school day. And if I can just stop for a moment, the school day, what that means is the beginning of the instructional day to the end of the instructional day. That's very important for people to understand. So yes, they can have their phones after the school day ends. And if I'm a middle school principal, that's 7:34 to 2:15. Okay, that's when the policy, or that's when the devices are prohibited. Parental communication is if you're gonna have your child communicate, if you need to contact your child, you have to call the main office in all of the buildings, and they will make sure that your child gets in touch with you. And we have a requirement by law to do some equity accounting to determine how the policy is being enforced, and that's going to be done in the Sheriff's Office, the Office of Pupil Services.
So what does that look like exactly then, as far as the enforcement? We're not sure yet.
Yeah, so it's always a work in progress, right? So the enforcement of the policy is really determined by the code of conduct, okay? You know, if a student is violating the code of conduct, this is going to have to be meshed with the code of conduct, but this is the law, and then the determination on how the policy is enforced is written in the code of conduct.
I was hoping to see something a little bit more restrictive, especially at the high school level. You know, what's gonna stop our students from peeking at it, right? Between classes, grabbing it to take to lunch, still putting it between their legs. I mean, I just don't think it's restrictive enough. I've kind of been vocal myself over many years. I see no need for students to have cell phones in the classroom. I've told my son for 4 years if it comes up, I'm for it. I just really think that we need to come up with a better way to store them, right? And you know, I understand that they could turn in a dummy phone, but then it's easy, right? If they turn in a dummy phone in the morning, then it's simple. It's easier for us to control and to also not punish. What's the word to address, right? Like I just feel like we're opening ourselves up and really not addressing what New York State is saying is for mental health. It's not really for control or whatever. I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't go in a different direction.
Well, I think I agree wholeheartedly, because I don't think we realize what an addiction phones are at this point. You know, apps, all of those things. I mean, my kids are different people when I take their phones away. Like within 24 hours, it's like they're normal again. So it definitely affects their brains. And when we implement these, you know, we say, hey, we're taking your phones away, so many are going to be addicted to going to that locker, to going to wherever that phone is stored. So I know that other school districts are using pouches. I don't know if that's the right word. You know, that they have to put the phones in, and you know, I think that has been really successful. This one we went to New York City for the conference. When they were speaking about it, they said that they had a lot of success. So maybe you're hearing different.
Did we consider alternative measures for further restrictive use, and we you know, explore why those further measures wouldn't be best for the district?
I think if we talk about pouches, there is a cost involved to pouches. And so to say that we really looked into that, I would say no at this time. You know, the cost. The governor, I think, is giving the state $13 million for 700 school districts, which comes out to be, I think, roughly $18,000 or something along those lines. So I think the pouches would be much more cost prohibitive, but that doesn't mean that as a board you can't decide to go in that direction. However, at the same time, this is a policy that is a first draft, the first reading, and it has to be in place right now. So in order to make that happen, we can always revisit a policy
I just think that, I understand the time crunch, but, a committee was put together and there wasn't a final decision maker on anything. We could have had board members, we knew it was coming down the pipe, maybe we could have been more proactive. I just really feel like we're still putting it on our teachers, our hall monitors to enforce it. And to be honest, I think we would have the support of our teachers. They don't wanna spend the time saying, put your phones away, you're not allowed to have it in the hallway. And then it becomes a he said, she said, and then we still have the fight with our parents, right? We have an opening to make a great decision and really remove the phones from our schools, and I think we should capitalize on it. And that's just my opinion, and I will let everybody else speak.
There was, go ahead.
If I could add, in terms of pouches, aside from the cost associated, there is a logistical part of that too, to evaluate too, in terms of, are all the students hibernating at the same place at the same time to all collect at, and rushing to get, because they're excited to get their phones too, and the manpower associated with the herd of students coming in, and different areas and things like that. But I would just, because I appreciate the first read, if more options and everything is explored and presented, that would be helpful, I think, to all of us, since we have so many outstanding questions.
I know how logistically, in the morning, trying to get 900 students, like in high school, 900 students to put them away, and then more importantly, at the end of the day, the window for busing and leaving is so narrow, right? Trying to get all of those students their devices and get them back on the bus and out the door, right? I know that we're doing lockers in each homeroom, right? So each staff member, each homeroom would be responsible for those 20, and the student would report to their homeroom at the end of the day and get that. I haven't heard great things about the pouches, and I'm glad we're not putting them out. There were the two things on this, though, that I had a question with. One was, with the exception, with the authorization by a teacher or whatever, would that be like, we're gonna use it in our room today, so go get it from your locker?
That's true, yeah.
Because then I could see, like, all you're gonna get is, oh, well, Mr. Winger told me to bring it to class today, sorry, Brian. But, and it's just gonna become this constant, like, chasing down of staff saying, well, and I gotta go check with Brian to make sure that he actually did that. What, I was shocked when I saw that exemption in there, for using it in class still, because every student has a internet-enabled device already. I really don't know what they could do. There's very few things additional you could do on your phone that you wouldn't be able to do in this. But I just think that one exception would open up a tidal wave of excuses and a lot of chasing down, dead ends.
And again, the policy that's a draft is just pretty much word for word what the state gave us, right? So is one of the exemptions. Mr. Grosso, the administrators, teachers, we had students and parents. When we came together, one student did say, my teacher often asks us to use our own personal device to access, say, a YouTube video, right?
Absolutely.
And because YouTube is pretty restrictive here in the district. So there are legitimate, like you're saying, legitimate uses, but it could cause an additional logistical
Well,
hole.
and the teacher may have to turn around and provide that YouTube video instead of asking them to.
Right.
And calculators.
I agree.
It's just gonna have to go back to a different way of thinking, right? And teachers might have to take a step back and provide different things. I just think that, we talk about logistically, maybe kids will stop bringing them, right? Maybe they'll leave them in their cars, the seniors that drive. I would really like to see some different options, whether it be the homeroom teachers not all one location. I really think we give a chance to make an impact.
Well, the middle school already has a very strong policy, so I think they do a very good job.
Are there some lockers?
They're in the lockers.
Yeah, so, I know the kids are a little younger, so it's gonna be more difficult to start this over, so I think that's why more restriction is important. to it and be more restrictive. And then obviously as kids accommodate and learn and say, okay, well, this is how it is, and as the eighth graders move to the ninth grade and it just is consistent, you know, you might not need to be as restrictive, but I think that to start off with, you're gonna have to. Again, I think it's a great point that Sue made about not having arguments with the teachers. You know, there's already enough strife. You don't want the teachers and students getting in arguments over phones. You know, so taking that lead and saying, hey, you know, this is it, and taking that pressure off the teachers. I think.
And we push them into the hallways that now become a home monitors,
Right,
right? Like, and
yeah.
it's like, you said, I didn't look at it, I didn't touch it, right?
Enough on the
And how much are we gonna enforce it?
I mean, and we know it becomes, I mean, how nice is it not gonna have to be to police video recordings throughout the day and pictures in the bathroom and all those things that you spend a lot of time kind of chasing down. I mean, that's another big benefit. I would say that when you're tying this to the code of conduct and you're coming up with some sort of matrix of like how to enforce it, you know, that's where we might see a little more creativity as far as bringing the people at home involved more and getting the parents involved more. And the last thing I would say is I know doing this myself and working with other districts, one of the big things is working with the people at the school to get the buy-in for modeling the behaviors. Like I've already been talking to my staff about, you know, you need to prepare yourself for, I'm not saying you can't have your phone, but don't be on your phone in front of the kids when they can't have their device with them, right? So it's really also working with all the adults in the buildings to kind of mentally prepare to be modeling that behavior that we're gonna be asking the kids to follow along, you know? And the sooner we get ahead of that and start having those conversations, the easier it's gonna be to transition to that in September.
Have we, just, you know, maybe made any courtesy calls or just courtesy questions to other districts? I know over the years whenever we're trying to sort out, rolling out a new procedure or new rules, we've always kind of just reached out, even if it's just Kenton Falls, wherever, just to kind of see where they're at. It's always good instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, just to get ideas from other districts. So I didn't know if any calls have been made, yes, and what are they doing?
You feel, can you share a little bit? And then I'll share after you. So I know Hillary has a nice listserv of high school principals that all communicate about topics like this.
Yeah, we've all been communicating as Western New York principals across the entire region. All of us Erie County principals speak regularly, and we've been in a large email group and survey group surrounding what is everybody doing. The vast majority have chosen to go in the same direction that we are going. There are very few that have chosen pouches because in speaking with the principals, right, I know there's some different discussion among different groups related to some of these buildings that have chosen to use yonder pouches. By and large, the administrators say there's a lot of challenges with kids breaking them, with them being destroyed, with them being incredibly expensive to replace, and not really impacting the outcome of not using their phones. So that has been the feedback that I've received as a principal so far surrounding that it isn't really helping. The policies about having them in their lockers, follow through with that, and the modeling of it seems to be what most people are choosing as the most effective strategy at this point. Brian, I don't know if you're
So I would just piggyback onto that and say, what are they doing to, as far as the code of conduct and what's the follow through? Like, it's easy to say, oh, we'll lock them in our lockers. We all know children, right? And they're used to having them and where's the responsibility and how are we gonna follow through with that? And then, I mean, we can all envision the nightmare. I mean, I can see it.
Yeah, I don't know how this will go, right?
I think that's the point we're missing. You're saying let's lock them up.
Well, what I will say is
Not just you in general, I think all of the districts are missing that point. We need to address that issue because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And we're gonna see them in our lunchrooms. And we're gonna see them snuck into the classrooms. And then we're not gonna eliminate the problem. So we need to understand that that's going to happen and we need to see that side. We're not seeing that. And to say that we have to hurry up and get this done doesn't work for me because we have to see the whole picture. So to show us a policy without what we're gonna do to enforce it and to eliminate the issues for our hall monitors now and our our cafeteria monitors and our teachers who have been dealing with it for the existence of cell phones, we need to see the other side, because we are creating another issue, right? And we have a chance to do the right thing here. And maybe it's not pouches, but I think we need to see the code of conduct piggyback with this so that we can understand where the follow through is, right?
But not just us, right? So that the administration can
Right.
see, the teachers can see, so
Right.
everybody understands.
Everybody's comfortable with it.
Yeah, and
I don't think this can be without
this
going
can turn
on.
into a nightmare, right? Like you're saying.
Yeah, I just think we need to see it in its entirety before we can say yes to a policy.
So like, for instance, what happens if you get caught with your phones?
Can I,
Do you just take it away from them? Do they get a write-up? Do they get a warning? Do they get detention? I mean, what happens?
So the discipline cannot be written into the policy.
Well, that's what I'm saying, we have to see the code of
Right,
conduct.
and that's where it's interpreted, in the code of conduct. So it'd be, in the law, it actually says you cannot suspend a student for this policy. But you have to follow the code of conduct. If a teacher does or monitor says to do something, there's consequences if you don't do those things.
Well,
It would be insubordination.
Yeah, sure.
And we already have insubordination in our code of conduct. And that's for everything, any type of insubordination. So that's how consequences would flow. It could be a verbal warning, it could be a meeting with the principal, it could be a written, so on and so forth, detention and eventually suspension. But as John says, we cannot suspend a child for having a phone on their person.
Then that's important to know, but it's also important to know where are we gonna start with that. Because are we gonna start hardcore, right? Are we not gonna start with it? So that you can start tougher and hopefully knock it out before,
Well, again, as a child is challenged in any form in our code of conduct, we're progressive. So we don't start with 5 days of detention for one infraction, right? It's giving kid, no matter what the direction is from an adult, we want the child to follow that. So if they continue to be insubordinate, then progressive discipline continues.
can I talk about my own experience at Grand Island High School with my cell phone? So Dr. Dempsey would have those, they would be confiscated and turned into the office. And I think our parents called, and then our parents, I think, had to pick them up. But they would be turned into the office, and he would get detentions after a certain point of them being, so many warnings. I don't recall having a detention the first time. It was,
Was
brought
it
to
taken
the
away
office
the first time?
right away. It was always taken away. And I think that there was some discretion maybe in certain classrooms, if I remember correctly, but I do remember my phone being taken a lot. So that's my, and I was getting in trouble at home because my mom called each time. So I will say that that was, something that this district has enforced in, past and combating the distraction, and it could be, but it was different times, not everybody had a cell phone, and not as many abilities on the cell phone back then, so it was just texting and calling.
I do want to ask Hillary, if you don't mind, and the board knows this, right? You have children in our schools right now, and actually we have this policy, without it being a law, we've been enacting discipline and consequences for kids well before this law was created. So Hillary, maybe just enlighten all of us. Yeah, please, if you don't mind, come up to the podium. Obviously, before the law was written, children have their cell phones out in classrooms, and when reported, I'm sure there are things that you do.
Yeah, we already have expectations that they're not allowed to have them out in the classroom at all. So they are required to store them in their backpack. If a teacher sees it out, they are confiscated. They are brought to the office. The parent is called. The parent must pick it up. If the student violates again, we have a progressive discipline approach that follows from there. Like Brian said, while this particular law does not allow for suspension, just directly related to possession of your cell phone. Generally speaking, if you have violated this expectation multiple times in our code of conduct, it becomes, like Brian said, insubordination, which is a violation that can result in suspension. So there is an approach that we are already using with kids. We have been largely successful, but as you've shared before, and I think as Roger shared, it is expected that teachers are enforcing those expectations, right? And I think as Roger had shared, modeling those expectations, I've addressed that with my faculty as well and started those conversations because I think it's a behavioral change for everybody, right? Teachers are used to having them maybe out on their desk and kids seeing that, but now it's everybody getting focused. So not to go completely sideways here, but we do already have practices and policies in place for students who are not allowed to have them out. I think frankly the biggest change for us in our building will be not having them in the hallways because that has been something we've historically allowed, and we have historically allowed the kids to use them during the lunch period. So one method that we're investigating and looking at the finance end is putting some televisions in our cafeteria. I already had done that knowing that this was coming in that direction for the senior caf, so we can play some of our Viking Vision and announcements and things to distract the kids because this is going to be a new experience. Myself and our assistant principals are also exploring different opportunities that we may have during lunch periods for kids to have some physical activity. We haven't really figured that out entirely yet, but it's something that we're working on over the course of the summer because I realize lunch very specifically is going to feel very different for our kids.
Well, and I would
Which is
say,
amazing.
although there is.
We used to sit and talk, right? Like, I think they'll figure it out. I would also say, Hillary, with no disrespect to anything, I think, although we've had that all in place, there's phone usage in our classrooms. And I think we would be amiss to say that it isn't. It's a lot on our teachers. And to sit here and say that doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's saying it doesn't happen.
But I'm just saying, Brian, we have a chance to do it right. And I don't know that this is it. And to continue with the onus on our teachers who are instead of saying, put your phone away, Billy. Come on, Susie, put your phone away. I'm allowed to use your phone, right? Like, you know, it's whatever.
And having a
I'm
kid
beating a dead horse.
Having a kid in the middle school and having a kid in high school, I'm gonna tell you, there's a huge difference.
I would just
cell
like to
phone
see a
use.
different option.
There's a lot more use for my high schooler. She's on her phone all the time. I can guarantee it. And she's got good grades. She's not a troublemaker. So I think a lot of people kind of just like, well, but I
It's
think
too much temptation.
yeah, it's
in
just
lot
it's a
in
different
my opinion.
mentality. And like she says, like Sue says, I'm helping our teachers so they don't have to think all the time. Having it really come down kind of hard, I think would be not good.
I guess my comment to that would be, we will still be facing those challenges likely as our students adjust, and teachers will ultimately have to enforce our code of conduct as they're expected to now. So if students choose to violate that, my best advice and my advice to my faculty is that everybody rows in the same direction with the consistent message, and when that happens, generally our kids, they are reined in pretty quickly. We have fantastic kids here. I do know that kids are really addicted to their cell phones. But I think the key is going to be no matter what that outcome is for what we decide on how they're stored, teachers are still going to have to be consistent in enforcing the expectations so we as administrators can address the progressive discipline approach when needed.
But so me looking at this comparative to what we're saying now is backpack versus locker. They haven't done it yet. They have not listened yet. Except that they're allowed to have it in the lunchroom and in the hallways. They're not listening now. They're not gonna listen to leave it in the locker room, right? So what are you gonna do the first day? You're gonna get them all? You're gonna have 200 parents here picking up phones? I just think we're setting ourselves up to fail. And I could be wrong, and I would love to sit here in September and say I'm wrong, and I'll be the first one to admit it. But before I am okay to work with this, I'm gonna see a different option. And I don't think this is strict enough. It's just my opinion.
Well, this is why it's a first reading, right? So all the board members have had a chance.
So we reach out to other districts, right, get some ideas?
Oh, I didn't even get a chance, you know, Hillary.
She said they already did, and they're doing this.
I was at a superintendent meeting on Thursday. The only district that has a pouch for every child is in Lackawanna. And it's only because that's exactly what the direction was of the board a year ago, before the law.
Yeah.
Okay, so they have, then they've been great, right, Mike? They have come Lackawanna principals come to disconnected conferences and workshops to talk about their journey. But they are, as far as my understanding, maybe is Lakeshore, Mike, do you know? Is it one other district?
Lackawanna is the only one I'm aware of.
Lackawanna, maybe Dunkirk for every kid? Okay. So, my understanding, we can certainly go more restrictive. My recommendation is it's not pouches. It is a disaster.
Yeah, no pouches.
Yeah. So.
Not to mention the value of the phones in those pouches. These devices are $1,000 each, right? You know?
So they can choose on
money
brand.
for, you know.
I mean, we will certainly brainstorm and come back together as an administrative group and honor what the board has said tonight. I'm just saying, we're not buying pouches unless the board directs us to. Okay? So, not doing pouches. So, but we will investigate other options and we'll get a little committee together and continue the conversation. We're not trying to rush the board into a decision. The law says it has to be approved by August 1st. So this is the first read. My expectation is in July, we come back together, we look at a second read. It would be amazing if we can approve a policy and follow the law so that it's published on August 1st. If not, we should then consider another July, board meeting. Okay, but I think we'll be fine.
The policy has to be by August 1st, like any kind of discipline matrix or anything like that,
Correct.
outlining like how you're going to enforce it. Right, so.
Absolutely true.
We had to work on a code of conduct as an administrative group over the summer.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
the board approves the code of conduct, first read, second read in October, or, I'm sorry, August, that is ready to go in September.
John, anything else on the policy? Perfect. Thank you to the board for that feedback. Appreciate that. Excellent. So we already saw some slides where, we saw the video from Chase and this amazing scratch artwork. It really is just amazing. So congratulations to our art teachers and JoJo for getting that $15,000 scholarship. That is, at a national level, is truly remarkable. Tech Wars is amazing. Maybe in the future we'll try to invite board members to see this type of competition. Hundreds upon hundreds of students competing. By the way, JoJo's brother, Luke, is also part of this, and he was helping with the robotics competition as well. It was really great to celebrate our distinguished school-related professionals. We had an amazing dinner and awards program. I want to thank Jade Coon for all of her help in organizing that. We had incredible sponsors and a lot of people were recognized. 14 SRPs in 14 different categories. Really a great event. And the seal of biliteracy and civic readiness. What a great thing that Hillary and her team had put together for our students to get additional recognition and to focus on the importance of civic readiness and being strong in your languages. It was really another great event for our students. Today we recognize Jennifer Mernitz for all of her good work. And her concert choir won level 6 gold with distinction. So congratulations to her and what a wonderful honor. Yeah, really great way. Lots of other great things happening in the classrooms. I wanted to highlight this for our board. These are things that happen all the time, right? And it's great during this report that sometimes we get a glimpse of it. But fourth graders at Hugh, having children, learn about the importance of a biography book report, being able to stand up in front of their peers and other adults, parents and so forth in the classroom are just great, great skills. We're recognizing the teachers on the screen here and the incredible work of our students. And I just want to kind of dovetail this picture along with some of these other biography reports to say that really we're going to see this more and more at the high school in the future based on the Blue Ribbon Commission and the tendency of the state to say children can take Regents type classes in the future to show their learning. The state is also saying that that will be optional in the future, and we might see more capstone projects, not unlike what's happening all the time throughout our school system. So it's just really great that our teachers spend this extra time doing it. You can see a nurse, and Elvis is here, and I think that is the animal guy from, is it Australia? Crocodile Hunter, yeah, awesome. Of course, all the board members who came and voted, and you saw the remarkable work at our district-wide art show. These students were recognized for some of their amazing whole oil paintings. So much congratulations to those in the arts. Mrs. Gallagher's students participated at the University of Buffalo in an AP statistics competition. And again, this is an example of learning being presented in a different way than just a summative exam. Our students who competed actually got third place at the University of Buffalo for their AP stats work, so congratulations to them. Truly hard work and putting them in situations to present at the university level. More recognition for our band and orchestra. They had a chance not only to enjoy Darien Lake, the amusement park, but also to compete there. So you can see that there's been some winners. 6th grade band won first in the division, and 8th grade band and orchestra both won first in their respective divisions. So congratulations to our music department. And if you had a chance to be at the Memorial Day recognition, it truly was remarkable. So we're grateful to John Reed for continuing with the baton when Marty Allen did it, and maybe people before Marty Allen did it. This park is truly remarkable. Not only is it a celebration of veterans, but it's also a celebration of the community coming together, not only in music, but our tech department has done incredible work with their students and the teachers, creating amazing displays that are there, preserved forever. Really, really remarkable. So we thank them for that. And yeah, just great pictures of a great event. So we thank everybody for that. Today we talked about the work about the statewide internet-enabled device ban. And as John had shared, we had a committee of students and parents and educators coming together to talk about all of the nuances about this new law. Post-prom and prom, just a remarkable event. We've got to thank our teachers and our administration and our parent volunteers who really helped put together an amazing, safe, and wonderful celebratory night this past weekend. If you're not familiar with post-prom, it is truly a remarkable event. It starts shortly after 10 p.m. and concludes shortly around 3 a.m. So our teachers, our parents, educators, different staff members, and our administration are all there to support our students. This is a little hypnosis going on over here with Anthony, and just really, we're really just proud of the culture that is present throughout our high school. Natalie Kopf, 200 strikeouts in her career, so a wonderful student athlete, great kid, and great celebration for achieving 200 strikeouts. You've seen some of those items before. Sue, is there anything you want to add about this one?
No, it's coming up quick. The car show is coming up quick. We have lots of cars. We're actually ahead of where we were last year. We have a lot of great prizes coming in. So you can come out on January 18th to support. What do I say?
January.
Yeah, we're gonna actually do that in June. That would be much better. That would be wonderful. And of course, June's wonderful golf course is outing is on July 25th at Beaver this year. I'm sure she's looking for golfers and we'd love to have that. I'm really sorry.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, Sue.
Moving on to the Board of Education report. That's good stuff here. Okay, so, all right, we are going to honor Sherry here. I'm just going to read it right off here if you don't mind. All right, so Sherry is being presented the Board of Excellence Award from the New York State Boards Association I'm just gonna read it. To Sherry Stephens, Grand Island Central School District through NYSSBA's Board of Excellence Recognition Program conferred more than 150 points for your ongoing association's professional development and/or accepting additional leadership roles. So congratulations, this is excellent. We don't see many of these here on Grand Island. And I just also, as many of you know or don't know, Sherry is not running for or did not run for her term, so we just want to take a moment to thank her for her service these past 3 years and all she's done to support the education and our students here at Grand Island, and we wish her the best in all she is going to do from here. So Sherry, thank you very much. We appreciate everything and good luck.
I wasn't sure if she did at the end or.
Well, you can, I mean, whatever you want to do. I just thought it. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Oh, the wellness week report. It's here. I know Sherry was asking for it. I don't.
There's a report in board docs for you.
Yes.
Did you get a chance to, I know I put it in late, but any?
Yeah, and the internet was not good.
Okay,
Yeah.
I can send a PDF to the board too.
Okay.
But it just outlines all the different activities that occur throughout the school district. So it's about a couple pages, but it's just nice to see that your work and the committee has evolved into the work throughout our district.
Yeah, and the teachers did a great job and put a lot of effort into it, so I'm really thankful for all they did for the students and caring about their social, emotional, and physical health, because they add all of them to it, so really proud of them and the work they've done the last couple of years. It's super thankful.
Okay. On to the public comment session, general items, nobody signed up, so we'll go on to the. Oh, if we have any students.
Do we have any students who need their agendas signed by the board?
All right.
Come on up.
I'll sign it, sorry, thank you, Julie. I didn't see you hide there.
Yeah.
I
just saw that it was so much fun.
Sorry about that. We're having so much fun.
Thank you.
Alright, so we'll continue with the committee full items and roundtable and begin with Roger.
Well, I just wanted to say congratulations to all of our retirees again. Thank you so much for all your years of service, and also congratulations to all those who received tenure this year. Congratulations on that. Thank you, Sherry, for your time and your work that you've done here on the board, and welcome back.
Yep, exactly what Roger said. Congrats again. Sherry, we're gonna miss you sitting next to her, but on to other things.
So I do wanna just, say thank you for these last 3 years. I, have learned so much coming from not being involved in the schools, really just dropping my kids off and running, to working for the schools and seeing how much gets done behind the scenes that I have no idea of. And then obviously getting on the board and seeing even more behind the scenes of what gets done. So I'm just thankful for everybody on the board that's helped me. I wish Ashley was here, she was a great mentor. Julie has been really wonderful with, hey, what time do we meet, what do I bring? Dr. Graham always answer my questions respectfully, and you're always very kind when you answer them, and that's very helpful. And it's just really nice to be able to say, hey, what about this, what about that, and you never make me feel stupid, which is huge. You are an educator, so you do a good job with that. And I would say Fitz, you were probably one of my biggest inspirations. Working at the middle school and working during COVID, you were very inspiring, but you were also very, very kind, and always made me feel like what I had to say was important, which is one of the reasons I think I ran for the board. Just how much educators can educate you even in your 40s is kind of amazing, so I'm thankful for all of that. I'm thankful to New York State School Board Association for this award, and I'm also thankful for Erie County School Board Association. I got an award through each this month, and I got a dinner next week for the Laura M. Burns Advocacy for Children Award, which is an incredible way to end my 3 years here on Grand Island School Board. So to receive 2 awards and to be able to be honored at a dinner is a perfect way, I think, to end it. So I just thank you for meeting, everybody that's been here. Everybody's been very kind and encouraging, even during difficult times. So, I thought when I got on, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. You come kind of guns blazing, but you learn a lot that goes on, and you respect a lot that goes on. So thank you guys.
Jude?
Congrats to all the retirees in tenure, and Sherry, you will be missed. It was great working with you for the last 3 years, and good luck to you endeavors.
Ditto with what Roger and Jay said.
Not gonna repeat it.
Yeah. I'll say congratulations to the tenure and retirees, and Sherry, thank you for your time serving.
Again, Sherry, thank you so much. I really appreciate your service, both as a school nurse and now on the Board of Education, especially at BCMS. Congratulations to our tenure recipients and our retirees. Congratulations to all of our new hires. I know they're probably listening now. And I really want to say thank you, though, to our administrative team and the teachers who served on the interview committees. There's more to come. It's a lot of work. It's a hard job, but it's the most important job we can do in the school district. It's hiring the right people.
Congratulations again to our retirees. Senior wingers, yes, senior winger. Congratulations to tenure. Also congratulations for all of our new hires tonight. We have lots more hiring to do, Mr. Fitzpatrick, correct? And welcome to our newest board member. Besides Sherry, congratulations again. It's Mike Antonelli's last board meeting as well, so Sherry and Mike, keep it out together. And have a great night, everybody.
Couple quick items. We had a successful budget vote on May 20th, so thank you very much to the administrators, the board, and Dr. Graham for your input on that budget. That's a months-long project, but important work, and thank you everybody for your input on that, and thank you to the community for your support of the budget again this year. We are looking to do another capital project update on July 7th at that meeting, if that's okay with the board. I had a meeting with the gentleman who's helping us with the stop arm bus cameras the other day on Thursday. We had a lot of violations at the beginning, but they've kind of tapered down. So his recommendation on Thursday was for us to not move forward with a full-scale system. So we'll be talking to him a little bit more on what that looks like, and I'll have a recommendation at a later date on exactly where we go with that. But that's good news. Obviously we're worried about student safety first. So that was some good news to get. Congrats to all the tenure recipients and retirees. Thank you, Sherry. Good luck to Mike. And thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Sherry, congratulations. It's bittersweet, but I know that there's a journey ahead of you that's going to be fulfilling and lovely, and we could use substitutes. So it's just, don't forget, I love that Mike Antonelli had said that to some of the retiring teachers today, so thank you for your service. And Beth, congratulations and welcome. Thanks for your dedication and interest in being on the board today. You got a chance to see the board in action, right? Not only through the budget process and all the things that the board does, right? These are the most important things. Policy obviously is the most important, so you got the chance to see the board and give us feedback, and then we'll go back as administrators and do that revision. So thank you for your interest in that. It kind of feels like we're sprinting a marathon, so I want to thank our administrators, everybody who's here this late, who were here this late this weekend, like late. So thank you for that. We have a STEM night coming up on June 4th. We have class day for our seniors on June 9th. We have bike night coming up, I believe that is next week, June 11th. Were you already going to share something? Okay. Yeah, moving update.
All these days I have to go to.
Lots of moving update celebrations. Of course, Kid Biz too. We have a really robust, many children participating all throughout Grand Island and Kid Biz on June 21st, followed by graduation on June 22nd, and the last teacher day, Michael, the last teacher day on the 26th.
Mike's month.
Yeah. And you'll probably talk about the board meeting in July. Do you have that date? Great. All right, perfect. So thank you, everybody.
Ditto to what everybody has said. I just was gonna mention June 9th, remember class days, corn honking day, it is a Monday, not a Friday this year, so we get to start our week off with lack of sleep instead of ending our week with lack of sleep. I just wanted to mention, post-prom, it's an amazing event, my son obviously was part of that this year. I was here Friday night setting up, but I just really wanna thank the school district, for holding the event and supporting that event. It's really a great safe place for our seniors to be, and it's really, the support from, our parents and such is amazing, but really it's an amazing thing that you all do for our seniors, so thank you for that. They really had a great time. I hosted the post-prom place, so thank you for that. That's really a wonderful thing, and I hope that tradition carries on for years to come. He mentioned graduation on June 22nd, Light Night, which is June 11th, where we honor our athletes from this year. Beforehand, we will be having our senior signings for those seniors that are going on to college and have signed after our signing event in the fall, so that's exciting. And then June 7th, we will have our reorganization meeting. We're about what month did I say?
You said January. No, you didn't.
July 7th, where we'll have our reorganization meeting. We're about to join us. So with that, I'm just going to wrap it up because I don't even know what month it is. So a motion to adjourn our meeting at 9:05. Thank you. A second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 6-0.